All my homies hate Boston. Van Vliet. Barnes. Oh! Scotty Barnes! Over Peyton Pritchard. Get the... Can we get 75 likes on this video? Help support this channel. It's a very new and growing channel. Your likes help get new viewers to this video. Post-game show, the Toronto Raptors just absolutely dismantled the Boston Celtics. It was a much needed result. I went into this one pessimistically expecting the Raptors to lose, and I thought that, you know, the Celtics have our number in recent times. It's going to be a difficult game. I was fearing an 0-2 start, but the boys, they shocked me. My assessment of this team was, you know, they're not the most talented team, but they possess the ability to surprise with their ability to play in transition and play defense. Defense was the name of the game tonight. The best offense for the Raptors is a good defense because it gets you going in transition, and that is exactly what we saw tonight. Because didn't have the best shooting performance, especially early on, but ended 42% from the field, 29% from three. Celtics 39-32. It was a lot better earlier on. The defense came to play. From midway through the third onward, the defense was on fire, and the offense was. The defense was great all game, but when the offense kicked in, it allowed us to be even better because we had to play in transition less. The Celtics turned the ball over 25 freaking times, man. How good is that defensively, forcing all of those? And other than Jason Tatum, there wasn't really many great performances from the Celtics individually. Tatum was 8 for 14 with 18 points. We really did keep him at bay in the second half, though. We really did keep him at bay. Part of me believes he had like 3 points max in the second half. I'm not sure. Horford was decent on defense. We held Jaylen Brown. We held Marcus Smart to 0-6. I hate Marcus Smart, so that's beautiful. And the bench wasn't really offering much for the Celtics either. Wow, what a performance. Scotty Barnes, the player of the game. 11 for 17 from the field. 25 points. 13 rebounds. OG was not very good, but his defensive worked. Again, the defense is the best offense for this team. Van Vliet also 3 for 10, but he was absolutely otherworldly on defense. Sky Barnes is a plus 29. Van Vliet's a plus 25. And it's all against the fucking Boston Celtics. I don't hate any team more in the NBA than the Boston Celtics. And I understand that it's one game, but I'm overreacting because of my absolute burning hatred for the Boston Celtics franchise. So what we did today, that went well. We weren't shooting well initially, and especially in the first half and the first little bit of the third quarter. I thought that the shot selection was utterly infuriating. It's consistently been in these first two games, and I think that OG in particular has taken a lot of them bad shots. However, that being said, the defense turned all of these great stops into offensive threats for this team to go and show their stuff. And in transition, that is where we were really thriving. Sometimes we just did a little bit too much to kind of push forward and force up a shot. Simi Hyluk had that charge that was kind of a perfect example of what I was talking about in terms of sometimes you just need to settle down. And at halftime, we had done a great job to give ourselves the lead. I wasn't going in with that much confidence after halftime, but then midway through the third is where we really turned it on offensively. We really started to knock down our shots. I liked Boucher's presence off the bench. I thought Kem Birch was decent off the bench. Overall, I mean, defensively, I think everybody chipped in. One thing I kind of want to go a little bit more in depth on is Gary Trent's kind of progression as a defender. So as I've been saying on all of my platforms, the win-loss thing, it's nice to win games. It's nice to win games, but I think it's more nice to see progression from the players on the court. It's more nice to see guys getting better. That's the most important thing for me. Guys getting better. And the real indication of people getting better is, okay, let's pick one part of his game. Is he showing improvements in that? And for Gary Trent Jr., one thing that Nick Nurse kind of has had a bit of an issue with is his lack of defense. But I'm noticing that he's putting in a lot more work to be a threat defensively, which is great. I really liked him in the starter setting. In the second half, he really came alive from a scoring standpoint. And I really liked Goran Dragic coming off of the bench because, as I was mentioning, there were a lot of situations where we were taking ill-advised shots early in the shot clock. But Goran Dragic, I felt like when he was on the court, that was happening a lot less because his veteran peace of mind was great. And I also want to point out that there was one play. It was like a 19-point game at this point. And for some reason, the Celtics had a fast break. And there was a double, and there was a wide open, I think it was Tatum in the corner. And Goran Dragic hustled back. 35-year-old Goran Dragic, who allegedly doesn't want to be here, hustles back to make an insane defensive play and keep the ball in bounds, showcasing how much that he actually wants to be here, which was just fantastic to see. To have that effort, I really enjoyed seeing that. So that was great. Overall, Scotty Barnes was sensational. I'm going to go more in depth on amateur sports tomorrow, but the way he was playing in the open court, it was very, you don't want to say it too early, but very Magic Johnson-esque, the way he could kind of float in transition. That's why I've always had this comparison. Obviously, he's got a long way to go, but 25 points and 13 rebounds. He dominated on the interior, and also from a shooting standpoint, he's got a jump shot. He hit a 3 today, and in mid-range, he's got a jump shot. He's absolutely got a jump shot. I was very wrong about this guy in my assessment. He was absolutely fantastic today. Absolutely fantastic today. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of Scotty Barnes as we progress through the season. All of this happening right now without Pascal Siakam as well. So the half-court offense still needs some work. We've had our positives. The defense was great. We did well in transition, but the half-court offense is still a problem. We still managed to put up 115 points. A lot of that is down to the fact that the Celtics turned the ball over 25 times, and also we absolutely dominated the glass. I think we had almost 20 offensive rebounds. We almost had 60 rebounds in the game. The Celtics were nowhere near that amount. I think they had about 40, maybe just over 40. That's what gave us the edge. So those hustle stats, those defensive stats gave us the edge. Half-court offense still needs work. I still think we're forcing up a lot of those plays early in the shot clock, which I really didn't like. So that does need to change still. That is still something that immediately needs to change with this Raptors team. The half-court offense is still a problem. I will say that as much as I've always said, don't overreact to a bad game, you also can't overreact to a good game. 60 to 47 the rebound category. Okay, thank you for that. So 60 rebounds for the Raptors, 47 for the Celtics. The discrepancy was much bigger before garbage time, but we'll take that stat as it is still very impressive for the Raptors. You can't overreact to a good game like this. The Celtics obviously weren't at their best tonight. We looked exceptional on defense, and that is down to, I think, Fred VanVleet mostly, but also shout-outs to OG, shout-outs to Scotty Barnes, and Gary Trent I'm going to give a bit of props to. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this team. My assessment is that, they're not going to be the most talented all the time, but they have the ability to surprise, and that is exactly what they did tonight against the Celtics, winning by 32 points. I hate the Celtics. I love the fact that we were able to give them an absolute rollicking like that. We got the game against the Mavericks tomorrow. It's going to be difficult to go back-to-back against a team with Luka Doncic. But if we can maintain this sort of defensive pressure, if we can throw OG or Scotty Barnes on Luka Doncic, let's try to neutralize Luka Doncic and work in transition again. The defense is what's going to help us on offense. The Raptors, if they want to be successful this season, number one, they got to clean up the half-court offense. But that's going to come a little bit when Pascal Siakam returns. But if they want to be successful, we are banking on our defense, and we have to get a ton of points in transition. Our fast break points and our transition points need to be near the top of the NBA for the Raptors to be proven a little bit successful this season. So we saw that tonight. We didn't see it against the Wizards, but let's do it tomorrow against the Dallas Mavericks. What a game. What a night. So much fun to beat the Boston Celtics like that. If you're a Boston Celtics fan watching this, I typically don't overreact to this to wins, but man, I love beating Celtics. They've had our number, but today was our day. And also subscribe. We're going to do a post-game show for every single game. We are going to do more content on the side, clips from the Twitch channel, and we're also going to do some highlight reactions in there as well. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to YouTube family. Shout out to Twitch family right here in chat. Say hey to YouTube. And yeah, that's the post-game show.